Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is you might be watching this one. So today we're cracking on with our percentage work and finance sort of maths. This one just looks at profits and discounts. It's really similar to some of the skills we know in percent markup, percent markdown, etc. Expressing things as a percent. So hopefully we'll have no trouble whizzing through this. It might be a pretty quick one. So I'm going to do the first one here, which is a manufacturer produces just going to change the colour of my pen, produces an item for $400, okay, expensive piece of kit to manufacture, and sells it for $540. We want to determine the profit made. Now, you don't need to think too much about this. It is simply asking you how much that manufacturer is getting for the sale of that item. Now, hopefully by now we can go, right, the amount he's making is simply the difference between the amount it costs him to produce it, $400, and the sale price. So if we find the difference, simple subtraction, subtract 400. We don't even need a calculator for this one, hopefully. We can see that they have made $140. That there is part A. Express this profit as a percentage of the cost price. Basically, we are looking at a comparison. Previously, we've done this where we've set up a fraction, and it tells you what you need in the fraction in this bit. So it tells you that you're going to use the cost price as the denominator in your fraction. Okay, so we've got we've got 140, and we want to express it as a percentage. 140 over the cost price, which was $400, and expressing any fraction as a percent. Alrighty, how do we go, guys? So, Electrical marks up all entertainment systems by 30%. So, we're adding 30% to an original price. You can do that one of two ways. You can find 30% of 8,000, as we did a couple of chapters ago. And then, once we know what 30% is, we simply add that to 8,000. Now, I believe the quicker way is just to multiply 8,000 by 1.30, just to represent the 30%. So, just so we're aware, again, as a bit of a recap, this represents us adding the 8,000 to the 30% that we find if we did it the first way or the long way. So by multiplying it by 0.3 or 0.30 for 30%, that is adding our 30% to our 8,000, which is our 100%. And the 100%, as we know as a decimal, is represented by 1. So that's why we do it like that. So, punch that into a calculator, 8,000, and multiply it by 1.3. Don't need the extra 0 on the end. Okay, and that entertainment system will come out as being 10,000 and $400. Must be a pretty good unit for that price. Okay, so hopefully that is not too difficult. Okay, second lot of questions. Harvey Norman advertises 15% discount on all equipment as a Christmas special. Find the sale price on a projection system that has a marked price of $18,000. That is a really expensive projection system in my books, and I'll be wanting more than 15% off it. Anyway, so what are we going to do? So 15% discount. Now, two ways we can do this again, and they are finding 15% and then doing subtraction, or you can find how much we have left of the original price and then multiply 18,000 by that. So what I mean by that is, I'll need a colour that will go over a couple of different shades here. So if we have 100% is equal to 18,000 and we're taking 15% off that, then we're going to be left with 85% of the cost. Okay. So to calculate this one, I'm going to go 18,000 and multiply that by 0.85, the decimal equivalent of 18,000, and come up with a result of 15,300 dollars. Okay. Now, as I said, you can do it the other way. I'll run through it quickly here. We have 15%, so if I want to find 15% of 18,000 times 0.15, and we get 2,700. And I won't go any further, but you can see now that that 2,700 is simply the difference between the original price and the price we got over here. Okay, so you subtract the 15% from 18,000 and you have your answer. Okay, this last one is probably a little bit trickier than the first two. So Toys R Us discounts a toy by 10%. If the sale price was $10.80, what was the original price? Okay, so we have to make sure we interpret the question correctly to start with. Always important, but obviously just seems like you're trying to trick us a little bit here. So they're discounting a toy by 10%. Sale price we're given is $10.80. So what was the original price? So for that, we know that they take 10% off. So what we're paying, that sale price of $10.80, is actually 90% of the price. And we're going to use the unitary method, so breaking 90% down into 1%, to find the original price. Okay, so if $10.80 was 90% of the price, okay, we can divide those by 90, okay, and get ourselves the 1%. So that'll come down to 12 cents, and that is equal to our 1%. Okay, now you can just about do this in possibly in your head. You might have jumped ahead already. Now with that, we can just go up here and go, right, if 0.12 or 12 cents is equal to 1%, and I want to find the original price, so the original price is equal to 100%. Then what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 100, do the same to both sides, and then I've lost the same colour that I just had, so it's be a bit different. So then we have 100% of the price, or the original price, is equal to $12. And because we're talking money, we'll pop the 2 decimal places, and that's it there. Okay. Okay, time for a practice one, just based on that last question. So we've got a store marks up TVs by 45%. So assuming they buy them from Sony, mark them up by 45%. If they sell for $3,200, what did they buy them for originally? Okay, pause the recording and then come back and we can run through it together if you have any trouble. Alrighty, how'd you go with that one? So, first off, we need to work out, again, going to break it down to 1% increments. Now, what you need to know here is that 3,200. Now the last example, I think it was 90%, was what the toy was on sale for, or what we were finding. 3,200 is actually 145% of the original price, because they buy the TV, we call that 100%, they're adding 45% to that price. So what we've got there is 145%. So to find out what 100% of the price is, or the original price is, we're going to go and, you may have guessed it, divide this by 145, okay, to get our 1%, and also we'll put a line under there, same as division, divide 320 by 145. Sorry, not 320 by 145, 3,200 divided by 145. So that gives us 22, I'll round it to the second decimal place, 22.07 is equal to 145 divided by 145 is always going to be 1, is equal to 1%. Alrighty, that's there. So, next step, what do we do to find out the original price? We want to know what 100% of this TV was worth. So, we take this, I'll just head up here. So, we've got $22 and 7 cents is equal to 1%. And I haven't rounded, it's still sitting on my calculator, so I'm going to use the unrounded figure here to get a more accurate representation. So it goes something like 22.06896,552. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 100, and that's going to give me the cost of the TV to the retailer. So when they bought this, they would have paid, so times this side by 100, times this side by 100. So they would have paid $2,206, and let's call it, we'll round it up, even if we go two decimal places, it rounds up to 90 cents. Good old school bell interrupting us there, thank you. Okay, $2,206.90 is our final price. So hopefully you went okay with that, and we'll see you next time. Remember to like it, give me some thumbs up, hey, some happy comments, something you'd like changed, something you'd like to see again, and I'll see you next time.